We're planning the family reunion at your beach house. 47 people, for days, my sister wrote to me. Stock the fridge for Friday. No one consulted me. I replied, no. She sent a laughing emoji anyway. We're coming. What are you going to do? Call the HOA? I didn't answer. On Friday morning, I changed the door code and then hired security. For when they arrived. I'm Alejandro, I'm 42 years old, a neurosurgeon at a large hospital in Miami. I have an incredible wife, Alicia, and an 11-year-old son, Lucas, whom I adopted when he was 5. Life looks perfect from the outside. A successful career, a beach house, a nuclear family. But like in many families, there's much more beneath the surface. My family of origin, my parents and siblings, pushed me to the limit with their selfishness and lack of respect, especially towards Lucas. It all started years ago. I'm the eldest of 4 siblings. My parents, Carlos and Elena, worked hard their whole lives, but they were never good with money. My dad was a mechanic and my mom cleaned houses. I grew up watching them struggle with debt, overdue bills, and loans from relatives. When I got into college on a scholarship, I swore I would help when I could. I studied medicine, specialized in neurosurgery, and after years of residency, I started earning well. That's when I began sending money home. At first, it was small amounts, paying a light bill here, a repair there. Soon, it became more. I paid off my dad's credit card debt, the back taxes on the family home, and even a new refrigerator when the old one broke. My siblings, Sofia, 40, Miguel, 38, and Anna, 35, also started asking. Sofia needed money for her divorce, Miguel for a business that never took off, and Anna for her kids' classes. I gave, thinking it was my duty as the successful older brother. Alicia warned me it wasn't sustainable, but I felt guilty for having more than them. 5 years ago, I bought the beach house. It was my dream, a beachfront property in a private community with a pool, direct beach access, and 24-hour security. I paid for it in cash after saving and investing well. It was for my nuclear family, Alicia, Lucas, and me. But when my parents saw it, they acted as if it belonged to everyone. How beautiful, Alejandro. We can come in the summer, my mom said. At first, I said yes. I gave them the door code for occasional visits. My mistake. The house soon became their personal resort. Sofia would bring her friends for parties. Miguel used the boat I bought to go fishing with his buddies, and Anna brought her kids every weekend without asking. They would leave the house dirty, break things, and never pay for repairs. One time, I found the sofa stained with wine and the fridge empty. After a family gathering I didn't even know about until later, I asked them to give notice and clean up, but they just laughed. We're family, Alejandro, don't be stingy, my dad would say. The worst part was how they treated Lucas. Lucas is not my biological son. I adopted him after marrying Alicia, whose sister died in an accident, leaving him an orphan. I loved him from the first day. He's a sweet, intelligent boy who loves books and the ocean. But my family saw him differently because he wasn't blood. They would exclude him from family photos, saying it was just for the real cousins. At Christmas, his gifts were cheap compared to those of the other grandchildren. They introduced him as Alejandro's stepson, as if he weren't a real part of the family. I tolerated this for the sake of peace, but it was building up. The breaking point began last 4th of July. We planned a day on the boat. I invited everyone, including Lucas, but when I arrived with him, my sister Anna said, "There's no room, Alejandro, it's just for the cousins." There was plenty of room, but they left him on the beach with Alicia, crying. My dad said, "Don't be dramatic, it's just one day." That hurt me, but I didn't say anything to avoid ruining the day. After that, Alicia told me it was enough. Lucas deserves better. It's not healthy for him to see this. She was right. I started setting boundaries. I changed the door code and told them they had to ask for permission to use the house. My family was furious. "You're so selfish," Sophia said. "After everything we've done for you." What had they done? Nothing but take. Then came Anna's message. It was a Tuesday morning at the hospital, between surgeries. My phone vibrated. "We're planning the family reunion at your beach house. 47 people, 4 days. Stock the fridge for Friday." 47 people. 4 days. No one consulted me. I replied, "What? You didn't tell me anything." "I can't." Anna sent laughing emojis anyway. "We're coming." "What are you going to do? Call the HOA?" I didn't answer. I went on Facebook and saw the event, "Big Family Reunion at Alejandro's Beach House." In the description, "For all the real cousins, overnight stays for close family." There were derogatory comments about Lucas. "Don't invite the stepson. He doesn't fit in." My blood boiled. I called Alicia. "This is the end." We decided to act. I changed the door code that night. I hired private security for the weekend. I blocked entry to the community with the administration. On Friday morning, as my family arrived in a caravan, I was ready. They arrived around 10 a.m. I watched from the camera. Cars packed full, kids running around, my parents with bags. They tried the old code. It didn't work. They called my phone. I didn't answer. Sophia screamed, "Open up, Alejandro. It's family." The security guards arrived. "Private property. You must leave." My parents cried, accusing me of being ungrateful. "After everything we gave you." What did they give me? Emotional debts. I held my ground. I spent the weekend with Alicia, Lucas, and a cousin who actually values us. We cut off the toxic support. Now we prioritize our small but authentic family, where Lucas is the center. But let's go back to the details. That Friday, as I watched the cameras, I remembered all the years of abuse. My family never thanked me, they only demanded more. Lucas, playing on the beach with Alicia, smiled a genuine smile for the first time in months. That was worth everything. The caravan arrived like a planned invasion. It was 10 o'clock on the dot when my dad's SUV appeared first at the community entrance, loaded with coolers, suitcases, and grocery bags. Behind them came the others, Sophia's minivan with her kids and her current boyfriend, Miguel's pickup truck with his wife, 2 dogs, and fishing gear, and Anna's sedan packed with kids and inflatable toys. I did a quick count on the camera. Over 40 people, not counting those who would arrive later. They tried the old code at the gate. A red beep. They tried it several more times. My dad got out of the car and dialed my number. I let it ring. Sophia rolled down her window and shouted at the camera, "Alejandro, open up already. The kids are hot and hungry." Just then, the private security SUV I had hired pulled up. 2 tall guards, black uniforms, radios, and a professional attitude. They positioned themselves, blocking the entrance. One spoke through a megaphone. "This is private property. You are not authorized to enter. Please turn around and leave the area." The drama exploded immediately. My mom got out of the car with theatrical tears, hands on her chest. "My son, how could you do this to us? We are your blood." Anna pulled out her phone and started recording everything, surely to upload it as proof of my wickedness. Miguel slammed his fist on the hood of his car, red with rage. "After we raised you, you leave us out here like strangers." I stayed in the living room with Alicia, watching the live feed on the app. Lucas was in the kitchen with Rosa, our cousin who truly loves us and had come to spend the weekend with us, making sandwiches. Rosa always treated Lucas like a real cousin, without any distinctions. "Don't look at that, Lucas," Alicia said when the shouting could be heard through the external speakers. But Lucas walked curiously to the window. He saw his grandparents crying, his cousins running around confused, and his aunts yelling. I thought he would be sad, but he asked, "Why are they yelling so much if we didn't invite them, Mom?" Alicia and I looked at each other. That simple sentence was worth more than any therapy session. The security guards calmly repeated the order. Some tried to negotiate. "We just want to talk to the owner." The head guard replied, "The owner hired us precisely to avoid this. There is no entry without written authorization from Dr. Alejandro." That enraged them even more. Sophia started screaming that I was a bad son, that I had forgotten my humble roots. My dad tried to play the father card. "I am the owner's father. I have rights here." The guard was unshakable. "Sir, I have clear orders. No one gets in." Anna kept recording, narrating out loud. "Look at how my brother is leaving our whole family on the street." She uploaded the video in real time to a group chat I had already left. Alicia received screenshots from distant cousins. "How could you do this to your parents?" We blocked the entire group. After nearly an hour of yelling, honking, crying, and threats of, "This isn't over," they started to back away. Some stayed parked outside, hoping I would give in. My mom left a bag with food prepared with love at the gate, but security didn't accept it. In the end, they went to a cheap motel a few miles away, as I later learned from Rosa. We had the most peaceful and happy weekend in years. Just 5 people, Alicia, Lucas, Rosa, me, and the ocean. We had breakfast on the terrace with an ocean view. We played in the pool without anyone claiming the chairs. Lucas and Rosa built an epic sandcastle. Alicia and I drank margaritas at sunset while the kids ran along the beach. That night, I grilled lobsters, we played loud music, something impossible with 47 people, and Lucas danced like crazy. On Saturday, we took the boat out, just us. Lucas steered for a while under supervision and screamed with excitement when he saw dolphins jumping nearby. Rosa took pictures where Lucas was the star, not an extra in the background. We played cards late into the night, and Lucas won at Monopoly without anyone letting him win out of pity. On Sunday, while we were having pancakes for breakfast, a long voice note from my dad arrived. Reproaches, guilt-tripping, veiled threats that the family never forgets. I listened to the whole thing. In the end, I blocked him too. Rosa said something that stayed with me. "Alejandro, family isn't who demands from you because you share blood. It's who respects you and respects your children. You are building that now, with your actions." That weekend, we decided to cut off all remaining financial support, the monthly check to my parents, the expensive gifts, the loans to my siblings. We redirected that money to a college fund for Lucas, real vacations, and donations. But my family didn't give up. The following days were an avalanche, calls from unknown numbers, messages from distant cousins, even attempts to visit me at the hospital, which were blocked by reception. My mom used the health card. "Your father is having chest pains from the stress." I went with him to the cardiologist. "High blood pressure from emotional stress. Nothing serious." The doctor told me in private, "Doctor, take care of your own mental health too." Anna created new groups about me, planning to make him see reason. Sophia published passive-aggressive posts about brothers who forget their origins. Lucas, on the other hand, was flourishing. He invited friends over, asked to go out on the boat, and talked more about his dreams. I started family therapy with Alicia and Lucas. I installed more cameras. I changed the codes again. But my family's true final attempt came weeks later with a move no one expected. That deserves its own chapter. 3 weeks had passed since the blocked weekend. Life at home was calmer than ever. Lucas had started swimming lessons at the community club, invited friends over on weekends, and even hosted a sleepover at the beach house without anyone breaking anything or leaving a mess. Alicia and I were planning a vacation for just the 3 of us for the winter, something we had never done because we always had to include the extended family. Rosa visited often, and we even invited her parents, my aunt and uncle, who had always been neutral and now openly supported us. The money I used to send to my parents was completely redirected. I opened a university savings account for Lucas with automatic monthly contributions. We paid for some upgrades to the house, a new grill, kayaks for the beach, and a game room for Lucas with a console and a ping-pong table. Alicia started a photography course she had always wanted to take. We felt free, as if a huge weight had been lifted from our shoulders. My family, meanwhile, was not doing so well. According to Rosa, who still got some news from an aunt, they had to cancel the alternative family reunion at the motel because it was too expensive. My parents were fighting more about money. Miguel had to sell his pickup to pay off accumulated debts, and Sofia and Anna were looking for extra jobs. No one admitted I was right, but the consequences were clear. Then came the final attempt. It was a Thursday afternoon. I was getting out of a long surgery. My phone had 27 missed calls from unknown numbers and a voicemail from my mom. I listened to it in the car. She was crying, saying my dad had a heart attack and was in the hospital, that he needed to see me urgently, that this was more important than any anger. I felt a knot in my stomach. Despite everything, he was my dad. I called the hospital she mentioned. They confirmed that Carlos was admitted for chest pains. I went straight there, my heart racing. Alicia texted me, "Go, but don't let them manipulate you. I'm taking Lucas to Rosa's house, just in case." I arrived at the emergency room and there they all were. My mom sitting in a chair with tissues, Sofia comforting her, Miguel pacing nervously, Anna with the younger kids. They looked at me as if I were their savior. My mom stood up and hugged me, crying. "Thank you for coming, son. Your father needs you." I went in to see my dad. He was connected to monitors but awake. He looked at me with tired eyes. "Alejandro, I'm sorry. All of this has affected us so much." The doctor came in shortly after. Stress-induced angina, not a heart attack. He needed rest, medication, and a change in habits. Not fatal, but serious if he didn't take care of himself. I went out into the hallway and my family surrounded me. That's when they made their move. "My mom, son, your father can't have any more stress. We need to come together as a family. Sofia, we can start over. We could use the beach house for Dad to recover for a few days. Miguel, and we'll help you with the expenses, of course. All of us together. Anna, the kids miss Lucas. We can include him in everything from now on." I stayed silent for a second, processing. It was the master plan, use my dad's health to regain access to the house and the money. I felt a mix of sadness and total clarity. "Dad is stable," I said calmly. "I'm glad. But this doesn't change anything." My mom started crying harder. "How can you be so cold? Your father almost died because of you. Sofia, you're a monster. After everything we did for you." The children watched, confused. A nurse asked us to lower our voices. I explained in a firm voice, "No one almost died because of me. Dad needs to take care of his health, yes, but not because I set boundaries. What happened was a consequence of years of demanding without respecting. The house belongs to me, Alicia, and Lucas. It is not a family hotel. And as long as you don't respect my son as a real part of this family, there will be no access and no financial support. Miguel took an aggressive step forward. Lucas isn't blood. That doesn't change. That's when the last thread broke. Exactly, I replied. And that's why I choose my family, the one I built with love, not with toxic blood. I turned and walked out. My mom screamed after me, "You have no heart." But I didn't look back. In the parking lot, I called Alicia. It was all a show. I'm on my way home. That night, with Lucas asleep and Rosa still at the house, Alicia and I made a final decision. We drafted a formal email to my parents and siblings. We were cutting off all contact indefinitely. We explained the reasons: years of financial abuse, lack of respect for boundaries, and above all, the discriminatory treatment of Lucas. We CC'd cousins, aunts, and uncles so there would be no distorted versions. We blocked all their known numbers and emails. The following months were of absolute peace. Lucas started individual therapy and blossomed. He got the best grades of the year, won a science fair at school with a project about the ocean, and invited his friends to the house without fear of someone marginalizing him. Rosa became his official honorary aunt, visiting every month with her kids, who treat Lucas like a brother. My parents tried one last letter, a handwritten note from my mom, saying they regretted everything and were asking for a chance. I read it, but I didn't reply. The cardiologist later confirmed that my dad remained stable with medication and diet. A year later, life is better than I ever imagined. The three of us traveled to Europe in the summer, something unthinkable before. Lucas turned 12, and we celebrated with only close friends and Rosa. The beach house is now our real sanctuary, filled with our laughter, photos where Lucas is the center, memories we built ourselves. Sometimes I think about my family of origin. I know they struggle financially, that my siblings work more, that my parents live more humbly. But I also know that the consequences are their own. I chose to protect my son, my wife, and my peace of mind. Lucas once said to me while we were watching the sunset from the terrace, "Dad, thank you for choosing us." My eyes filled with tears. Always, son. Always. That's the full story, Reddit. Sometimes cutting toxic ties hurts at first, but it opens up space for an authentic life. Today my family is small, but it's real. And that's worth everything.